Hello, dear learners. I Aarti Rani, Assistant Professor, School of Computer Applications, Babu Banarsi Das University, Lucknow. Today I am going to deliver a lecture in data warehouse and data mining is trade and commerce. This is a very important area or application of data warehouse and data mining. So in this lecture I will discuss about the what is trade and what is commerce and benefit of export or import of data in data warehouse and data mining. So importance of export and import data I will discuss about properly in this lecture and how this data is important for the government. So let's start with the topic commerce and trade, or we can say trade and e-commerce. So let's start with the lecture.
Trade is a selling and buying of goods and services between two or more parties in consideration of cash and cash equivalents. Commerce includes the exchange of goods and services along with activities like banking, insurance, advertising, transportation, warehousing, etc. to complement the exchange. It is now time to dump our tired old assumptions about India, that it has an economy close to trade within its territory as well as with the rest of the world. The reality is refreshingly different. The Now Economic Survey, written by the team of Finance Minister economists headed by Arvind Subramaniam, has used to unique data set of invoice from the goods and the services tax network to estimate the level of trade between state. We welcome the innovative use of big data in economic survey. Railway passengers data has also been used to estimate internal migration patterns. So railway passenger data has also been used to estimate internal migration patterns. The Indian government needs to embrace such use of big data. The estimates in the economic survey shows the interest trade flows, which include the movement of the goods between firms and within firms, are around 54% of gross domestic product. The usual assumptions in economic geography that large countries with substantial domestic market have robust internal trade and explain why interstate trade is so active in the India and is perhaps an antidote to the usual belief that the outdated barriers to trade across states reduce the movement of goods and services across border. Few seems to notice that the India has since 2011 traded more with the rest of the world than China does. That trade intensity of both these economies have come down sharply since world trade started contracting a few years ago, but India continues to maintain its lead over China on this front. India is now a middle economic income country that has seen the benefit of trade over the past 25 years. Internal economy integration as well as fewer barriers to international trade should be key policy concern in the year ahead. According to Mr. Piyush Goyal, for Commerce and Industry and Railways, the government of India is keen to grow export and provide more jobs for young, talented, and well educated peoples, as well as for semi skilled and unskilled workforce in India. Capital inflows India foreign exchange reserve was 38.83 lakh crore in the week up to July 10, 2020, according to data from RBI. India is presently known as one of the most important player in the global economic landscape. Its trade policies, government reforms, and inherent economic strengths has are attributed to its standing as one of the most sought after destination for foreign investment in the world. Also, technological and infrastructural development being carried out across the country augurs well for the trade and economic sector in the year to come. The government of India has been working on striking important deals with the government of Japan, Australia, and China to increase contribution towards the economic development of the country and growth in the global market. India has potential to increase its goods and services export to Australia 50 billion by 2025 and 35 billion by 2035 to starting a new business in India or expanding more your excited business in India. It's a necessary to understand the entire Indian marketplace, including current rates, upcoming scenario up and down, etc. And to understand all these factors, you can take help of with import data bank India. It has detailed records of commodities importing in exporting from India. So what are the benefits of the import data bank India? First of all, unlock business opportunities in the Indian marketplace. Keep your updated about the changing market trends. Build progressive and better strategies for your businesses. Provide shipment-based details on the description and HS code. Useful to find out active suppliers and buyers in India. Helps to better research on the Indian market and traded goods. So now the main topic about the how data is collected and how data is maintained and how to represent the data in the front of citizens or government to take their decisions. So data warehouse for the Ministry of Commerce. The Ministry of Commerce has set up the following 7 export processing zones as various locations. So Khandala Free Trade Zone, Gandhidham, Santa Cruz Electronics Export Processing Zone, Bombay, Falta Export Processing Zone, West Bengal, Madras Export Processing Zone, Chennai, Cochin Export Processing Zone, Cochin, Noida Export Processing Zone, Noida, and Vishakhapatnam Export Processing Zone, Vishakhapatnam. So reports present how the data warehouse can be effectively built for the Ministry of Commerce. So there are some objectives like a globalization of India's foreign trade, attracting foreign investment, scaling down tariff barriers, encouraging high-end internationally acceptable standards of quality. And the fifth point is simplification and streamlining of procedure governing imports and exports. So data warehouse is subject oriented, integrated, time variant and non-volatile collection of data in support of management decision making process. So now the objectives of data warehouse for the Ministry of Commerce. The Ministry of Commerce has been regularly reviewing the data warehouse in its board meetings. The ministry is equipped with all the analysis variables are reporting from and the zone performance and the progress of exports are reviewed in each zone of the country. The data warehouse include all analysis variables include into consideration from all the zones with an option to drill down to the daily data. So now the topic is data warehouse implementation strategies for export processing zone. So let's understand first of all the infrastructure. The basic infrastructure required for building the warehouse for the Ministry of Commerce is based on the communication infrastructure, hardware, software, tools, and manpower. The common infrastructure, this include all the tasks necessary to provide the technical basis for the warehouse environment. This include the connectivity between the legacy environment and the new warehouse environment on a network as well as on database level. Manpower requirements. The senior officials in the Ministry of Commerce sponsored the whole warehouse implementation and played active role as EXIM policy and businesses architect for data warehouse and also subject area specialist. Now the key areas for analysis. These points also very important points. So the data topic deals with the data access, mapping, derivation, transformation, and aggregation according to the requirement of ministry. The key areas are decision making, which will be used for analytical processing, and for data mining at the Ministry of Commerce are listed. Now, first is unit-wise, sector-wise, and country-wise import and export. Number 2, direction of import and exports. Third, sector-wise, country-wise, and zone-wise trends, import and exports. Fourth, comparative country-wise export and import for each sector. Fifth point, DTA sales. Sixth, claims of reimbursement of central sales tax of zones. Next point, deemed export benefits, employment generation, investments in the zone, deployment of infrastructure, growth of industrial units, and 12th point is occupancy details. So now I want to discuss some area where the data warehouse is used. First of all, Hewlett Packard. HP can easily access and quickly analyze enormous volume of self-through data to help its reseller customer improve the efficiency and profitability of their businesses with an OLAP system based on Microsoft SQL Server and GNOME Proclarity. Hewlett Packard is worldwide market leaders in the 18 million inkjet industry. In the past, HP's brand recognition and reputation for reliability were enough to ensure that a reseller would carry HP products. Now, the access of information needed using data warehousing technology. HP has captured and stored the information both from primary research and third parties. The business analysis group decided they needed a system that would provide market metric data to help field sales force manager or account team make brand and channel management decisions. HP require a system that requires low cost, low maintenance, and as simple to administer as possible. So the group turned to Knios, a BIOS Idaho-based software companies that has developed a business analysis online analytical processing package called ProClarity. The solutions enables to move the data so quickly and at such a low cost of maintenance and ownership that it would solve the problem. Knios has helped the group build the data flow algorithm with Microsoft Visual Basic Development System and SQL Server 7.0 data transformation services. Due to HP and numerous sales through data volumes, it would take too long to build analytical model with a pure multi-dimensional OLAP solution. HP used SQL Server 7.0 virtual cubes and cube partitioning capabilities. Virtual cube capabilities allow decision makers to cross-analyze data from all these OLAP sources. Cube partitioning allow HP to more effectively manage large number of OLAP cubes. Knios ProClarity provide HP decision makers with the key to analyzing masses of data. ProClarity is fully integrated with Microsoft products and it's a PC-based. Client is modeled after Internet Explorer 4.0. ProClarity powerful analytical feature takes full advantage of the robust capabilities found in SQL Server 7.0 OLAP services. So now the conclusion is HP's ProClarity system and SQL Server 7.0 provide the system with more accurate, detailed, and timely data that makes the business more efficient and help its reseller make their business more efficient. So I want to also discuss how does a trade policy affect any business. The government's trade policy can affect business by making it easier or more difficult to trade across international borders. Trade policy can include the imposition of import tariffs, quotes on imports and exports of certain goods and subsidies for local producers to support them against international competition. Governments often enter into bilateral trade agreements with other countries with the aim of reducing tariffs and barriers to business and establishing a free trade area of common market. This can be helpful for some businesses but can also lead to increased competitions from abroad. So this is an area we have to understand about the trade and commerce. Now the data warehousing in World Bank. So this is another example where we represent the data warehouse in World Bank. The World Bank collect and maintain huge data of economic and development parameters for all the third world countries across the globe. The bank performed analysis on the huge data manually and lateral with limited tools for analysis. The bank collect and analyze macroeconomic financial statistics and also information on the parameters such as poverty, health, education, environment, and public sector. The live database data warehouse. The OLAP cubes were defined for the database using OLAP server module of SQL Server 2000. Universal access was provided for the data warehouse was called live database. Benefit of the second generation LDB data warehouse. The first generation LDB data warehouse. So here we have to understand what is the meaning of LDB, logistic data bank system. So had certain limitations there for the second generation ODB data where was built using SQL Server 2000 analysis server along with the pro-clarity of Gnosis Corporation. The package offered direct user functionality, which was otherwise required technical interventions by a programmer. Pro-clarity also provide web enabled, thereby ensuring universal accessibility. It results in a significant cost saving by reducing the time and the effort required to prepare a large variety of reports to suit varying needs to be economists and other governmental decision makers to add effective and better economic planning. So before going to in the last of the session, we have to clear about the meaning of the commerce and trade and how it is helpful in establishing a good database for the help of government. So it is more important to understand basically data bank on trade can be analyzed and converted into a data warehouse. World price monitoring system can be made to perform better by using data warehousing, the data mining technologies. Provisional estimate of import and export also be made more accurate using forecasting techniques. So it is very clearly. So all the government departments or organizations are deeply involved in generating and processing a large amount of data. Conventionally, the government department have largely been satisfied with developing single management information system or in the limited cases a few database which were used online for limited reporting purposes. Much of analysis work has done manually by the Department of Statistics in the central government or in any state government. So the techniques used for analysis were conventional statistical techniques on largely batch mode processing. So I hope it is clearly about the meaning of commerce and trade and how the data is collected and how the data is helpful. So I think this is clear about. So thank you so much for the class.